Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome in to Sports with Balls. Whenever you're listening, appreciate you. Getting going a little early this morning. Got lots to do, lots to go over. Hell of a weekend in sports. Man, hell of a last 2 weeks in sports. Tons and tons of stuff to talk about. Hope you guys had a good spring break. Look, obviously took the week off. I did. Went down to Florida. Saw the parentals. Got to take the kids to some spring training baseball games. Absolutely amazing. Loved it. Hope you guys had a good spring break with your kids, but it's Monday morning. Send them back to school, baby. Send them back. I'm Jeff Michael. This is Sports with Balls. Welcome in on March the 18th, Monday, March the 18th. What do we got on National Days today? Awkward Moments Day, Act Happy Day. All right. Today's Act Happy Day. I don't care if you are or not, just act happy. What else we have here? Clean Monday, Forgive Mom and Dad Day, Global Recycling. I'm a huge recycler. What else is here? National Sloppy Joe Day. When's the last time you had a Sloppy Joe? Woo. Are there healthy Sloppy Joes these days? I mean, back in the day when we had Sloppy Joes, there's no way that was healthy. Do they still have that mix, that Sloppy Joe mix at the grocery store? Like, oh, man. National Supreme Sacrifice Day. Let's see. Transit Driver Appreciation Day. Orthodox Lent. And one birthday today, Adam Levine, I guess. Lead singer, Adam Levine. So there you go. There's your days. So be happy. Go eat a Sloppy Joe. And forgive mom and dad. Those are your days today on March the 18th. Sports with Balls. Man, such a good show today. Such a good show today. Leave a comment. I'll try to get to them if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on Instagram now, YouTube Live, Twitter, wherever you're watching, man. Tune in. By the way, Facebook page should be up and running. If you follow the show, Sports with Balls Facebook page got hacked a while back. Running on almost 3 months now. Facebook, get it together. I need my show back, or I need my page back. Jeez, damn hackers. Anyways, we will get into today a lot. NFL, running backs, wide receivers that are still out there. I think there's 10 running backs with new teams. I'm going to go over all of them. It's going to be a blast. So we'll talk about the NFL and who's moved where, quarterbacks and running backs and wide receivers, where they're going. NCAA tournament, 68 teams in men's and women's. And we'll get into that. There's some disappointments. There's some surprises. There's the number ones. 3 of the number 1 teams in the NCAA tournament did not even win their conference championship. We'll talk about it. What else? Oh, we'll get into today in sports history, where there's a lot of that stuff going on. But before we get started, obviously, there's some people that I need to thank. Number 1, Christian's freaking Tailgate. Go to christianstailgate.com. 5 area locations in Houston. This place is amazing. Was packed yesterday for St. Patty's Day. By the way, if y'all are waking up with a hangover, I'm sorry. I was about to say have sex with that woman, but I was doing some Bill Clinton stuff. But I did not go out drinking. I've got some important stuff to take care of today, so I had to get my head right and stay on point. Hopefully you guys had a safe St. Patrick's weekend, whether or not it was Saturday or Sunday. So happy late St. Patty's Day to you guys. I know Christian's Tailgate was packed. Go check them out. I'm not sure if they're doing a bracket challenge yet or not. I will get into that, and of course I'll post it on a social media page. But go to christianstailgate.com. Find one near you. And Diamond Auto Spa. Austin Bauer. Happy late birthday. I guess his birthday was 2 weeks ago. Go to diamondautospa.com, man. Specializing in paint protection film, ceramic coatings, vinyl wraps. Detailing is just a part of it. All right. Go to diamondautospa.com, 346-319-5961. Hit them up on their Facebook, Instagram page. It's sitting right there for those of y'all watching live. And last but not least, Modern Home Improvement and Remodeling, modern-homeimprovement.com. Josh Smith is so busy these days. Y'all saw those storms roll through. You guys call him. 281-949-8925. Check out your roof. Get your fences fixed. Get some remodeling done. Mention Sports with Balls and get $500 off. Now that that's all out of the way, let's get going. Where y'all want to start today, man? College basketball or the NFL? I say we go to the NFL. Let's do NFL because over the weekend we had the breaking news that Justin Fields will be sent to Pittsburgh. And we already know Russell Wilson was sent over there, and now they've got Justin Fields. Russell Wilson's going to start. I think this is a good move for Pittsburgh. We know they're going to go 500 or up. They always do. Russell Wilson, I said last year I would give him 8 weeks, right? Now, we all know, I said this before on the show, why Russell Wilson is out of Denver. Sean Payton and him did not get along. It was just a matter of time. Sean Payton told him kick rocks. Russell Wilson signs for damn near the league minimum in Pittsburgh. And now they bring on Justin Fields. Are you happy, Steeler fan? Are you happy about this move? And by the way, Justin Fields or the Chicago Bears had better offers than Pittsburgh gave them. But Justin wanted to go to Pittsburgh. They did right by him, apparently. So he goes to the Steelers. He's going to sit behind Russell Wilson and learn for a season. I don't know where Russell Wilson's career is at this point, but it seems like it's winding down. And I guess Pittsburgh would be the last stop. I don't know if he's going to be a journeyman. It's so sad to see the downfall of a Super Bowl winner, an incredible quarterback who was obviously a product of a great defense in Seattle. But Russell Wilson is going to be a teacher, it seems, to Justin Fields. And Justin Fields seems to be the future of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers sent a 2025 sixth-round pick to the Bears that converts to a fourth-round selection if Fields plays 51% of the snaps this season. Is that going to happen? Look, you can pull Russell Wilson week 2. I don't know. I don't know how long Russell Wilson lasts. That should be the poll question of the day. How long does Russell Wilson last in Pittsburgh? Look, Pittsburgh's got a good defense. They've got a great defense. Can Russell Wilson turn into a game manager? And not only that, can Russell Wilson's attitude be fixed? Because apparently where there's smoke, there's fire. And if Russell Wilson and the locker rooms that he's been in over the past 4, 5, 6 years are not happy with him, then maybe this is an attitude thing and it's not Russell Wilson's playing. He didn't do so bad last year, especially towards the end of the season. But I believe that people can't get along with him anymore. That was 100% the case in Denver. So now Justin Fields will back him up. And as soon as there's any sort of tension, we already know Justin Fields can be a starter in the NFL. Russell Wilson's going to be shipped or sent down or benched. But does he really give a damn? He's getting paid, man. Russell Wilson, man. Justin Fields in Pittsburgh. Interesting. And that's just the tip of the iceberg on what's happened in the NFL over the past couple of weeks since free agency started last Monday. Justin Fields to the city of Chicago says, can't thank you enough to the city of Chicago for taking me and embracing me. Thank you to the entire Bears organization and ownership for allowing me the opportunity to be part of such a historic franchise. But most of all, thank you to my brothers that I played with. So there you go. He's out. He's heading to Pittsburgh. We'll see what happens with the Steelers. It feels like a 500 team. And that's just what they do, man. If they get a couple more wins, great. The question here is, how long does Justin Fields sit on the bench? How long does Russell Wilson stay the starter? Russell Wilson, I think, is playing for $1.4 million. That's just them. Obviously, Denver's paying him way more than that. But that's just the money that Pittsburgh's paying him. That's crazy. That is wild, but there we go. Let's get on to even a little bit more wilder or more wild, however you want to get into it. The running back situation in the NFL. This is nuts, man. I'm just going to list off 12 of them. These are viable, reliable, good running backs in the NFL that are now with other teams. That just happened in the past week and a half. Derrick Henry, Tennessee to Baltimore, and wow. Is Baltimore the favorite to win the Super Bowl? I'm going to look up odds here in a little bit. MVP of the league, probably the top rusher in the league, at least over the last 6 years he is. They've got some decent wide receivers. They'll get Mark Andrews back and healthy. Who in Baltimore is the pressure on for the MVP of the league in Lamar Jackson? It's got to be unbelievable. If he does not go to the Super Bowl this year, what do you do? What do you do? Man, you have everything you need. You have everything you need, Lamar Jackson. If there's not a deep playoff run, there's going to be major. Look, I'm sure Baltimore's really, really happy right now. I bet they're up in arms. It's unbelievable. Be careful. Be careful. I just, man, if there's not a deep playoff run for that team, woo, there's going to be major, major problems in Baltimore. It may be all sunshine right now. Be careful. Aaron Jones goes from the Green Bay Packers to the Minnesota Vikings, which, by the way, Minnesota needed a good running back, but obviously they got a new quarterback. The quarterbacks and running back situation. They're just completely new teams now in the NFL. I love it. I absolutely love this. So Aaron Jones goes from Green Bay to Minnesota. Joe Mixon joins the Houston Texans, leaves the Bengals. I don't know about this move. We're yet to find out. It just seems like the Texans are putting a lot of pressure on their young quarterback to continue to succeed in C.J. Stroud. I don't know about this move. Joe Mixon's been good. He's been serviceable. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out. I thought they should have made a bigger splash, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. Zach Moss goes from the Colts to the Bengals at replacing Joe Mixon. Saquon Barkley from the New York Giants to the Philadelphia Eagles, and another huge, huge splash. That's insane. Now, there's another team that I'm talking about with the Baltimore Ravens, where the expectations now for the Philadelphia Eagles have to be Super Bowl or bust. Jalen Hurts has got to win a Super Bowl if he's got Saquon Barkley back there. Lamar Jackson has got to win a Super Bowl if he has Derrick Henry back there. That is Super Bowl or bust. And I do mean bust. Those are two stacked teams, and they have to do something. Deep playoff run. Make it to the Super Bowl. Devin Singletary, former team Houston Texans, obviously, as I mentioned. He now goes to the to the New York Giants, replacing Saquon Barkley. Josh Jacobs from the Raiders. We mentioned a couple of weeks ago on this show how Josh would be moving. So Josh Jacobs goes from the Raiders to the Packers, replacing Aaron Jones. Good football team. I don't know if y'all remember how good the Packers were at the end of the year last year. They have a good team. That was a young team going into last season, a little bit more seasoned. The Green Bay Packers are going to be a good team. Really good team. Austin Eckler takes off from the Chargers and joins the Washington Commanders. Eckler wanted out of I don't know. Interesting move, but okay. Whatever, Austin. Tony Pollard goes from the Cowboys to the Tennessee Titans, replacing Derrick Henry. Now the Titans have a nice young squad to work with. I think Tennessee, give them about 2-3 years. Their receiving core is very good. We'll get into all these, obviously, as the draft comes up and as the season, I don't even want to speculate how many weeks away, but I can't wait. So Pollard goes to the Cowboys and Titans. DeAndre Swift moves from Philadelphia, as we just mentioned, to Chicago. DeAndre Swift's a good running back. Gus Edwards from the Ravens to the Chargers, replacing Eckler. And Antonio Gibson goes to the Patriots from Washington. That's just your beginning, folks. That's just the top 12 running back moves. We all know that Kirk Cousins now is in Atlanta. Justin Fields is in Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson's in Pittsburgh. The draft coming up, the Chicago Bears will take a quarterback number 1, which it looks like Caleb Williams will be heading to Chicago. Now, we could get a shock. Chicago's in a great position. They've got 5 quarterbacks to choose from. 5. Don't screw this up. Don't screw this up. April, 26th is the draft. Chicago's going to have themselves a new quarterback and a new running back. I just good for them. DeAndre Swift will work with a good quarterback in Caleb Williams, and I'm assuming Caleb Williams is coming out. That's he'll be first. That's the speculation. It's been the speculation all along. So, if you're Chicago, do you want Caleb Williams after all of the pre-draft drama, if you will? I don't know. With all these quarterbacks coming out, I don't know. But we'll find out. So that is your NFL breakdown of your running backs and who you got going where. A couple of the quarterbacks changed. And we have all week to dive into this, and I will, because I think that I love the free agency. This was a huge one. The wide receiver market I'll get into tomorrow. Mike Williams still needs a home. Odell still needs a home. Stephon Diggs is apparently in trade talks with maybe the Cowboys and a couple other teams. So we'll talk about the wide receivers tomorrow. But the NFL landscape has drastically changed. And I love it. I absolutely love it. Philadelphia and Baltimore, you better be in the Super Bowl next year. If you're Philadelphia, after the horrendous second half that you had last year, you land Saquon Barkley. With that talented team, you better be in the Super Bowl. Baltimore, even worse. MVP of the league. You'll have Mark Andrews back and healthy. Now you land Derrick Henry, the top rusher in the NFL the last 6 years at least. You better be in the Super Bowl. How would you not be? A lot of pressure off of Lamar Jackson running the ball with Derrick Henry back there. Now can he throw the ball accurately to the wide receivers and tight end? We'll see. It's fun. I love it. This all has fantasy football implications that go way deep. Fantasy football is going to be amazing. Cannot wait for it. The NFL. No wonder it blows everything out of the water when it comes to ratings. Don't even get me started on the ratings. Don't get me started. Speaking of ratings, it's March freaking Madness, y'all. Woo! I'm ready. I am ready. March Madness is on point right now. We saw the conference championships finish up this past weekend. And there's a couple of snubs. There's a couple of good teams in there. The snubs, I think the biggest one that everybody's talking about is St. John's. So I think, OU, Oklahoma got snubbed. Pittsburgh maybe got snubbed. And all three of those, by the way, St. John's, Oklahoma, and Pittsburgh, all declined invitations to the NIT, which is okay. I still think you should have gone. But the NIT obviously being the little sister to the NCAA championship game. But St. John's is out. Pittsburgh's out. OU's out. And Rick Pitino was pissed, if you haven't seen that interview. He says, first off, I think we should all probably never mention that word again because I think it's fraudulent, Pitino said. This is talking to the New York Times. I think the NET is something that shouldn't even be mentioned. Woo. It says the Red Storm coach, Rick Pitino, backed his team's resume on Sunday. It ranked 24th in the Basketball Power Index, the BPI. Best of any squad that did not make it into the NCAA tournament. It also had an NET ranking of 32nd. There's a lot. Look, anytime you have these tournaments, whether it be college football, NBA, it's like any of this stuff where there's not a committee in the NBA. So let's just take college, for example. You're going to have drama. There's going to be pissed off people. Next year with the expansion, there's going to be pissed off people that didn't get in. Sorry, Rick Pitino. Do better. Stop. Do better. That's it. There's always going to be somebody crying about they didn't make it in, and they should have made it in. Look, do freaking better. That's all there is to it. I don't know what else to tell you. Top seeds in the NCAA men's bracket are UConn, who, by the way, everybody has blowing out the waters. I mean, everybody has UConn absolutely dominating. After that, U of H, number 1 seed. Who else is in there? Top seeds: UConn, Houston, Purdue. Everybody's got Purdue going a long way, and not South Carolina, it's the women's, and UNC, North Carolina. Now, out of all those, North Carolina, Purdue, and Houston all lost their conference championship games. UConn was the only one that won their obviously that won their championship. But the the odds to win the championship are amazing. Check this out. UConn Huskies, current favorite, with plus 480. You put $100 for UConn to win the championship, you're winning $480. That's damn good. Houston plus 600, Purdue plus 700, Arizona plus 1,500, North Carolina plus 1,600. Tennessee rounds out top 6, 1,600 as well. Right now, UConn actually went down to plus 400. That's actually a good bet. $50 wins you $200. I may do that today. I may take UConn $50 and then put a $50 spot on Houston. So if UConn or Houston win, which is a pretty good odds that they're up there, or just take UConn and Purdue, or UConn and North Carolina, whichever way you want to go about it. Put 50 on each one. You're going to win a couple $100 for sure. I'm not sure if you guys are doing the bracket challenge. Let's see who's the worst. Who we got down there? Long Beach State, Grambling. They're in there at plus 100,000. So put $100 on Grambling, you win $100,000. Yale plus 50,000. Grand Canyon plus 25,000. Utah State plus 20,000. I'm just looking at these Cinderella teams. By the way, who do you think will end up as the Cinderella team this year? Go to Sports with Balls on all your social media outlets. Let me know what you think, or type it right here. I'll try to get to your comments as soon as I can. Duke plus 4,000. Who else is in here that could? San Diego State plus 8,000. Now, I'm not saying, look, I've mentioned this before on this show and plenty of other shows. I'm all for the Cinderella teams. I want a Cinderella team, but not when it comes down to the Elite Eight or Final Four. I want the big dogs in there. Give me Connecticut and Tennessee, North Carolina, Purdue, Arizona, Houston. I want those teams in the Final Four. I want the big dogs to be playing. The Cinderella team to the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight is awesome. It's great for the sport. But let's be honest, when it comes down to who you want in the actual Final Four, you want the big dogs. That's UConn, Houston, Purdue, Arizona, North Carolina, Tennessee. Those are the big boys. I can't wait. I'm excited for it. I think it starts Friday. And, of course, we'll talk more leading up to that. The women's. Let's talk about the women's bracket. I don't know which one is more exciting, the men's bracket or the women's bracket. And I'm dead serious. We have 2-3 teams, depending on where you let. Like, of course, if you're in Houston, if you're in, Connecticut, you're going to root for your local teams. I may watch some of these NCAA women's games. South Carolina, undefeated going into the season. They're negative 135 to win the championship. Wow. I mean, talk about hands down supposed to win. Negative 135. You have to spend $135 to even get 100 back if you bet on South Carolina. Iowa being a number one seed as well, plus 700. And you know Caitlin Clark is looking to win. They've got a tough bracket. I think all these teams do, though. LSU's in their bracket. LSU's the next at plus 750. Stanford at plus 1,600. Texas, University of Texas, plus 1,600. And then Ohio State at plus 2,000. But I'm telling you, these NCAA women's games are going to be fantastic. Aren't we all looking forward to Iowa and LSU? They're in the same bracket. I think they play each other if they win 2 games. That's going to be a blast. That should line up. And then, of course, we want to see South Carolina versus Iowa, LSU versus Iowa, LSU versus South Carolina. This is going to be fun. The women's teams are amazing. And you like in the men's bracket, if you go UConn, Houston, Purdue, North Carolina, those are the number 1 seeds. Past that, there's like 2 or 3 teams that have even close to the talent to compete with those. So it's not as exciting. I'll just be honest with you. It's not. UConn should run the table. UConn should absolutely blow everybody out, and it'll be fun in the Final Four. You never know, obviously, but UConn is the most complete team in the men's championship. Houston's a fun story. They were, they should have done it last year. They've got a little bit. They should do it this year as well. Purdue. I like the women's bracket. I do. I like the women's bracket. Maybe I should put a bracket up on bracket challenge on Sports with Balls. Maybe I should do that. Listen, guys, if you're just tuning in, this is Sports with Balls. I'm Jeff. Michael, I want to obviously mention our sponsors, Christian's Tailgate. Go to christianstailgate.com. Find one near you. Award-winning food, drink specials. I'm sure they're going to have – look, if you're looking for somewhere to go watch these games, the place opens, I think, at 10:30. Go in there. The games will start this weekend. It'll be packed. Unbelievable place. Go to christianstailgate.com. Go find one near you. And then, obviously, Diamond Auto Spa. Call Austin Bauer, 346-319-5961. DiamondAutoSpa.com. And then, obviously, with all the storms hitting, go to modern-home-improvement.com. Josh Smith, 281-949-8925. Get $500 off when you mention Sports with Balls, roof, fences, remodels, new builds, whatever, man. The guy does it all. He'll build the driveway up to your house, build the house for you, and then fence it in. Call Josh Smith, 281-949-8925. All right, what else we got to do? Ooh, today's events in sports history. Let's get to it. Let's see. Boston Bruins win record 20th NHL home game in 1930. 1942, two black players, Jackie Robinson and Nate Moreland, request a tryout for the Chicago White Sox. They are allowed to work out. Jackie Robinson, obviously, we all know the story. Incredible for breaking barriers. Let's see what else we got here. In 1953, the 15th NCAA Men's Basketball Championship, Indiana beats Kansas 69-68. Jayhawk center B.H. Bourne is named Tournament Most Outstanding Player. 1953, MLB National League approves the Boston Braves move to Milwaukee, first shift since 1903. Golly, baseball has some history. The mascot for the Dodgers didn't perform. All right, we'll just move on from that. Let's see. In 1985, Commissioner Peter Uberoth reinstates Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle. Wow, that's a good story. If you don't know about that, go look it up. In 1990, the 32-day lockout by baseball owners ends, and then they had another big one in 5 years. Let's see. 1990 PGA Players Championship, TPC Sawgrass. Jody Mudd wins by one stroke ahead of runner-up Mark Kakovelkia. We also know, speaking of, that Scotty Scheffler won back-to-back, first time ever in the history of the TPC. Scheffler wins yesterday for first time in TPC Sawgrass history. He won back-to-back. 1991, Mike Tyson beats Razor Ruddock in the 7th round. We all know what's coming up. We all know the Tyson-Paul fight. Woo! Now, I'm not positive on this, on the Tyson and Paul fight. I believe there's no head guards, and it's going to be an actual boxing match. That's going to be very, very interesting. If it's head guards, I'm going to be pissed. I think we all will. 1991, Philadelphia 76ers retired Wilt Chamberlain's number 13 jersey. Let's see. In 1991, Reggie Miller ends the NBA free throw streak of 52 games. Michael Jordan announces he's ending his 17-month NBA retirement on this day in 1995. I remember where I was. That was absolutely unbelievable. Appreciate you playing baseball, but we needed you back in basketball. That was awesome. And then I believe it wasn't more than a week later he scored 52 in the Garden. So in 1995, Jordan ends his retirement and comes back to basketball. All right, guys, look, welcome or thank you for tuning in to Sports with Balls. I'm going to have a hell of a show tomorrow. We'll get more into this NFL stuff with the wide receivers. I got some other stuff lined up for tomorrow, so y'all stay tuned. If you missed anything, go back and listen to the podcast version. I'll have it up directly after this. Give me about 10, 15 minutes. It'll be up podcast version. So thank you guys for tuning in to Sports with Balls. I'm Jeff.